Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening for people tuning in different parts of the world. Welcome to Coffee with Mirko, episode number 3. Starting a little bit late, we just had a little bit of technical difficulties, but by all means, we're gonna start with a brew. Same coffee as yesterday. Hey, Arkiv, drinking Picasso Baby from Paradox. Hey, Alan Vogue, what's up? What's up, guys? Be ready because today's guests, well, I'm excited. So, today we are joined by Lem Butler. Let me wipe the paper of my AeroPress. There we go. Lem Butler is an awesome dude. I'm looking forward to meeting him, and try to get a lot of information for you guys. And well, if you don't know much about him, basically Lem won the USA Barista Championship in 2016, and currently is one of the owners and founders of Black and White Coffee Roasters. And I just want to make sure that I'll see where he's at, what he's been up to, some coffee advice, but also just want to have a chat, see what it takes to win, what it takes to be a young barista, a young entrepreneur, a young businessman, and what it takes to do the whole lot. So hopefully he'll join us soon. So let's brew, shall we? And while I brew, hey guys, R with love, manliness, Ninot, what's happening? What's good? I hope all of you guys are safe and sound with this Corona. And here we go, some coffee. So, Lem should send us a video request soon, and we can just get started. Now, as far as format, we'll talk for the first 15 to 30 minutes based on how long we go. Hey, Ruben, Fasad, Sofia. Hey, guys. And then, it's open mic. So Q&A, ask some questions. He's a very interesting guy. And I've actually found myself rewatching his WBC routine. And I gotta say, it was so calming. Even though it was just, extremely calming. Hey, first shot. This is just an AeroPress. This is just a scale, obviously, but this is an AeroPress. If you're not familiar, it's a immersion kind of coffee. And Lem just messaged me, so let's see if we can flick a message back. Just join when we sit down. Here we go. And so if you haven't had a chance, it would be great to rewatch his routine for the WBC. It's very interesting. But let's say hi to a few people. Adele, Goddess, Maki, Subhan, Profaro, Saji, Beto Barista, and Sarani. What's happening? And if you're just tuning in, Lem Butler will be joining us briefly. And you guys are gonna love this. You're in for a treat. I'm really excited, really pumped, and we'll have some fun. Coffee with Mirko, in this case is with Lem. I wonder if he's also having a coffee, but it's a bit late where he's living over there. Ver 20817, Lucas, how are you guys? Stick around, because we're coming. But first things first, coffee. So, what have you been drinking, guys? Just let us know in the comments what sort of coffee you guys been drinking. Always happy to hear new beans, new coffee. Okay. I always forget this cup is not that big, but that's all right. Okay, here we are. I always feel it's so much coffee for one cup in there. Yeah, I feel the same, Jay Brooks. And Lem Butler just joined. We're gonna wave. Hey Lem, just you can actually hit and request. Here it is. Waiting. Connection's always been tricky with this Corona. Yeah.
What's up?
What's up, Lem? Good to meet you. What's going on?
I just finished cooking dinner for the family.
Oh, nice. Well, you gonna eat dinner with them, or you bailing?
I'm good. Just gonna sit out here, let this fire die down. Cool.
Cool, man. Yeah, good. It's crazy, crazy times, but we all blessed and lucky. Lots of us can enjoy our roof, some food. Not everyone is lucky, but you know we're able to go live and talk to you. So you and I are good. I'm assuming you good.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just been at the house hanging with the family and everything. You know,
Nice.
it's been good. Trying not to stress too much. You know.
Yeah, you can only stress some things we got control, and definitely we got little control on this one.
Exactly.
For who is joining in, I did a little intro about you, and I found myself the other day rewatching your WBC routine, and
Oh wow.
it was just so soothing, man. Like it was soothing, like almost like a meditation level. Like I was like, damn, like he's chill. It was just beautiful in terms of mindset, because a lot of people will be, you know, I guess nervous and freaking out, but obviously you trained hard for that. And I know it was a little while ago, but yeah, I guess we can start it off by just, you can tell us a bit more how you started this coffee journey of yours, and why coffee? I know music is a big element of yours, but happy always to get back onto the music topic later on, maybe.
Yeah, coffee. Wow. Well, coffee was one of those things that I think with most people, it just happened. It was a time when, you know, I was into music, but I was taking a hiatus from producing and traveling with the band that I started years ago. And I needed something in the interim, and I saw an ad for a barista. So I just jumped on board. I was hired the day I walked in the door. You know, all through college, I didn't drink coffee. I never even knew this coffee shop existed, and it was on campus. But yeah, it was actually fun. But what really kept me in coffee was seeing the competitions for the first time, and just seeing like the bigger picture than just being in the cafe slinging drinks, you know, all the time. And I just wanted to keep doing the competition over and over again. And the more I did it, the better I became as a barista, and moved up in the ranks at the cafe from barista to GM, and then it was a time in like 2007 when I wanted to continue. I kind of hit this wall of like, all right, yeah, I'm in the industry, but what do I do next? I can't stay at the cafe forever. And it was right underneath my nose. The roastery where we bought coffee from was Coffee, and they were hiring at the time. And I started off in production, and the whole time I was in production for 2 years, I competed, and I won a few regionals and went to nationals. But nationals was just out of grasp making finals. Never really made finals until my 8th season competing, and that was when it was in Atlanta. And I'd done so much for counterculture. At that point, I was wholesale customer support representative, and kind of a hybrid tech and kind of hybrid sales and consulting, kind of like a lot of hats at that point. So it was really difficult to find the time to practice and really put 110% in. So it was more of like, okay, I'm going to practice at 6 p.m. until 8, go home, eat dinner, and then come back and practice till like 1 or 2 in the morning. And that was my, for like 7 days straight for a couple months. It was tough, but I had to do it. Oh, the cool thing was Counterculture had moved from one of its original locations to a bigger facility, and they left the Black Eagle and a K30 in the training, the original training center, so I can just go and practice, which was awesome. Yeah, so I just hang out until really late. So, you know, after winning US, I was the first Southeast barista, first Black barista to win US. And, you know, I felt a lot of pressure to Dublin for Worlds, because I had volunteered at Worlds in 2011 in Bogota, and I saw like how like baristas were competitors were like had this camaraderie. They were all from the world. They were all national champions. I wanted to be a part of that, and now I was. And there was a lot on my shoulders of like really delivering in Dublin. And when I got there and saw that arena, it was like, I don't know, some battle royale like arena. It was so sick. And there were 65 countries, and everyone's getting their name called, and I'm getting like super nervous. I'm just sitting there getting nervous. My palms are getting sweaty. I'm shaking. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Oh my gosh. And Dublin, I was super nervous. But I mean, long story short, man, that's kind of my career. Barista, competitor, production, customer support rep at Counterculture. And now Kyle Ramage and I started Black and White Coffee Roasters in North Carolina.
Nice. Look, that's super inspiring. I think it's crazy how we all stumble onto coffee at some stage of our lives.
Right.
You know, like, you know, I've moved to Australia maybe 9 years ago, and I'm from Italy originally, and I hated coffee. Hated it with the guts. Just couldn't do it back home. Too bitter. Never appealed to me. Now it's, well, crazy to think about it. But then, yeah, you know, as an immigrant, what you do, hospo, and you start from the lowest of the chain, you know, of the what's called of the pyramid. And but yeah, it's interesting to see how, yeah, you know, you meet musicians and artists and all sorts of amazing people who need a job, and then they find themselves, well, in your case, pretty much on top of the world as far as baristas go. And yet, it's funny that you say you look nervous, because the routine that I've seen, I mean, the video I've seen on YouTube, man, you looked calm. Like, I don't know what you drank or did before the session, but I was like, wow, like, dude, that's a fun.
That whole competition, I was wrecked. I was just super nervous. I'd never been that nervous in my life. And there's the stage manager. He's going to kill me for forgetting his name. David, I think he's from Ireland. That dude's amazing. He brought me some water. He saw that I was nervous, brought me some water, started cracking jokes, and then I fell back in my element and just kind of forgot about, you know, being like super nervous and stressed out. Because there was a lot on the line. There was like only 12 moved on from 65 countries. It was pretty tough.
Yeah, no, you smashed it, and I mean, it was painful to watch it, because I obviously wanted to drink while you were preparing for the judges, but it sounded pretty delicious.
Yeah.
I guess what's you know, we get a lot of people watching us, and eventually my end goal with this is also to give back to all sorts of people. It doesn't have to be just coffee, but what was your secret? What kept pushing you? What pushed you towards the, you know, USA win, as well as the top 4 in the world. Like, it requires a certain type of mindsets. If you don't mind sharing or tapping into this.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it came from just perseverance, because I saw the competition as you being a representative of your industry, especially when you go to the international stage. And so I used competitions on the regional level and on the national level to really understand the criticism that I was getting on the score sheets, and using that information, this valuable information from judges, to improve each year. It wasn't as fast as I wanted it to, but nothing really is, right? So I just stuck to it and persevered through wherever I placed. It didn't matter, because it was all about that process. And it was that process of 8 seasons that got me to the level where I wanted. So I would say it's going to be a lot of hard work, but if you don't give up, if you put all this work into whatever it is that you're doing, you'll see the fruits of that labor eventually. You just can't give up, and that's what I did for so long. And I think probably halfway through my competition career, I realized it wasn't I was competing against anyone. It was more of I was competing against myself. And these judges are here to help you improve who you are as a barista, your skill level. If you take that advice, if you ask the hard questions, and it's tough, because you put in like months and months of work for 15 minutes, and then you get eliminated, and then you have to stand before the folks that judged you. These are like some of the best palates in the industry, and they have this skill level. And if you use that skill level, if you just humble yourself, which is very hard to do after being crushed, if you can just humble yourself and listen to the criticism, ask the right questions, maybe even take 15 minutes to just chill before you look at your score sheets and kind of get into that humble mode. And what was it? Kendrick Lamar said, "Be humble."
Man, well, you threw some big gems. I mean, I highlight you are competing with yourself. I think we're so focused on, a salary raise or making money, or we're so focused on winning rather than focusing on ourselves. And I don't mind the word hustle per se. I think it's a good word, but this whole grinding and hustle mode, I think you just nailed it. I think it should be humble mode.
Yeah,
we need to be humble. In any industry, it doesn't matter what you do, whether you are, a savvy lawyer or whoever you are. It's just being humble, just such, being grateful and being humble. Yeah, and someone I think who knows you just commented humble beast. So obviously they know you as a humble beast, and that's Lego my Yego something.
Oh yeah, what's up?
Yeah, so I think, you're so spot on, humble mode instead of hustle mode. Yeah, I think that brings the fruit in the baskets even better. But even on a inner level, I think we're able to connect with ourselves and other people and give a better experience. And that translates even at the bar, at a cafe or a coffee shop, not sure what you call it in the States, but it's like, you can be a cool, funky barista, but if you're not humble, even to receive criticism, and you think that you made the best cappuccino, flat white, or espresso, but the customer you served it to didn't like it, that's okay. But we're so caught up by, no. I'm telling you, this is a good coffee. No. Their experience, yeah? You feel me? I'm sure you do. So that was great. Thanks for sharing that, man. And in terms of like, you know, I watched an interview that you had with another company back in the day, and your biggest dream is actually your connection is a bit lowering, but hopefully you're still there. Yeah, you're here. And correct me if I'm wrong, but your biggest dream would be to teach and train someone to win the WBC, eventually to be the first African American potentially or African person to win the full competition. That was the content of the interview. So correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, when was that?
A few years back. Hey, look, I scratched through the archive. But is that still one of your like top goals? Is that one of something that you want to achieve, still pursue?
Not for me anymore. I have just way too much going on to get back into competition. It just takes so much to compete.
Oh no, you were saying to teach someone. Sorry, teach someone to.
And that's, I mean, that's. I felt like my whole career in competition, I had so many people donating their time and money to help me get to, you know, a winning season in 2016. That, you know, now that I'm a business owner, now that I own cafes and a coffee roastery, I have power to help others do the same or move in whatever direction they need to move in the industry. So yeah, that's one of my goals. I would love to see an African nation in the finals in WBC for the first time. We did some work with Winston out of South Africa. Great barista. He just won the South African National for the third time this year. So
nice.
It'd be great to see him in Melbourne. So it was great working with him a couple of years ago. That was really cool, and following his journey. So I would love to see, you know, someone from an African nation make it to and yeah, and maybe someone make it even
cool.
worse. I made it in finals, and you know.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, I think it's great, and I think we go back to giving back to community, like you said. People helped you, so you're now giving back, and that's special, man, for sure. And yeah, you now own a business, so we get a lot of people following my other channels and pages where they always reach out and they ask me, how do you start a business? What do you do? Well, most of them, they ask, you know, how do you become rich? And I tell them you don't.
Don't
because money is not the goal here. Yeah, so I suppose what's the process planning starting your own business from scratch? Because I mean, I run a social media agency, but it's different. You got brick and mortar, you got a roaster, you got God knows how many staff, and yeah, just tell us your story, your journey. What happened there?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it came from just years of experience, just being behind the bar for 4 years, learning how to manage a cafe, manage people, and then moving on to a coffee roastery, learning it from the bottom up. Like, how do you package, you know, roasted coffee, and then moving on to being the blender and learning all about the different coffees and blending, and just asking questions with roasters. And then moving into the consulting side, working with wholesale accounts. So there was a lot that went into forming Black and White, even before we had the idea of Black and White. And at the same time of working for an amazing company like Counterculture, I traveled around the country at different trade shows and just being present and competing and being present in front of people, networking with people. So when the time came, you had this opportunity, and there was 10, 12 years of preparation for this one opportunity that I didn't even know would fall into my lap. You know, in 2016, after I won, I wanted to open a cafe. Kyle Ramage and I, he was my coach in Dublin. We had talked about opening a cafe. And being in Dublin, we went to 3FE. I mean, I had Dublin all mapped out. I had like 5 or 6 cafes I wanted to check out. And 3FE, of course, was the first. And it's like, wow, this was an amazing experience. So went back the next day just to see if it was consistent. And it was. Went there every day. I didn't see any other cafes in Dublin except 3FE. And so as we talked about it, it was like, yeah, this is the model that we really like. And we want to do something similar in North Carolina. And when I placed 4th in Worlds, Kyle decided he wanted to compete and wanted me to coach him. And between him winning in 2017 and Worlds in Seoul, we had this amazing opportunity just fall in our laps. He had done some consulting for a former professor who owned a roastery and cafe in a small town north of where we live. And in 2017, he had grown this business to where he was a professor and he just wanted to teach and write books. So he approached Kyle and I after winning back-to-back U.S. championships and asked if we wanted to purchase it. It was a little more than what Kyle and I talked about with just a cafe. But we managed to find the funds to purchase Back Alley. And we, it was great. We brought in a third partner, and he's a financial backer for Black.
That's amazing. And that's, wow. I mean, shout out to Colin. I haven't been to 3FE yet, but I think he would appreciate you saying that was consistent, because that's been his banging horse on his book. And every time that I met him in Melbourne a couple of years ago. That's definitely on the list of places to visit.
I'll tell you about this guy. So I had never met him in person. I knew who he was just through social media and everything. And I walk into 3FE, and on the wall, they have the names of every WBC competitor on the wall. And it was so dope. And after going to the cafe and enjoying the food and the experience, after I played 4th, he sent me a text. He was like, "Welcome to the 4th club," because he's gotten 4th a couple of times in the WBC.
Definitely it was good to meet him. But yeah, I wonder. I need to do a European coffee tour eventually one day. There's lots of things going on there, but the USA is a little bit big. But speaking of which, now is unfortunate times in terms of global pandemic. I don't want to bore you too much about it, because I'm sure you talk about COVID-19 all day, every day. But has that heavily impacted you? Is there anything? What are you kind of doing to kind of offset a little bit? Is it more retail? Are you doing deliveries or takeaway, or how is that working out for you?
Yeah, it's been okay. We have 3 cafes. The one in our downtown area, in downtown, we're at the capital of North Carolina. The whole downtown area is shut down. Everyone's working from home, so there's no foot traffic at all. So that cafe is probably down like 80-85%. We reduced it down to 1 person. What's really cool is it's inside of a chocolate factory, and they are still in operation making chocolate, and they've expanded their online ordering, so they're constantly there, and that brings some people to the cafe as well. But it's all curbside, and the other 2 cafes are probably dropped down to 25-30%. And we kind of had to get a little creative, like free coffee with a purchase of a retail bag, or free coffee with purchase of food, curbside pickup, and it's been working out okay. I think there are small communities where people are really in support of local businesses, because they know how difficult it is. And our goal is mainly to make sure that our staff is taken care of. We'll worry about the other stuff later. Um, but as long as we're able to pay staff, that's fine. We've gotten creative of moving staff to the different cafes and to production, because although wholesale is down considerably, retail is up more than it has in the past, because there's a lot of people at home now. So we're still rotating 3 days a week, and yeah, so it's okay for now. We'll see how long it'll go.
Good. Yeah, it's good to hear. I mean, yeah, I deal with a lot of coffee roasters and coffee shops. Obviously, it's sad to see what's happening even here in Melbourne. Here is still allowed to do takeaways, but a lot of people just rather shut in the doors. So hopefully, government will be able to support these businesses as well as the people. But I guess health and not getting sick is the #1 victory. So if we are lucky enough to, be able to avoid that, obviously my heart goes to this. But yeah, you're doing the right thing, looking after your stuff. And I've seen another roaster that I work with, and their online sales are like through the roof, like 180% up or some crazy numbers. So at least they get a little bit of relief from that. So yeah, no, it's pretty good. To lighten up the mood, I was just had to ask question, but
Yeah.
I heard that Chemex is your to-go-to coffee. I heard. I've done some homework, man.
Yeah. Chemex is my go-to.
So what are you currently enjoying? What's your current cup of coffee that you're enjoying? Like, what have you been drinking?
I have a bag of Gesha Village wash, and that's what I've been drinking lately. I haven't been drinking a lot of coffee. Been drinking a lot of tea, a lot of hibiscus tea. But yeah, that's my go-to right now. My wife has a Colombian coffee in her grinder. I'm trying to remember where it's from. I think it's from Huila. She loves going South American coffee, so, and I like
Sweet.
it.
I mean, her grinder means that you got your own grinder and she got her own grinder.
Yeah, I use my Kinu hand grinder.
Gotcha.
I have the what is it? The Breville brewer and grinder. It's like the SCA standard thing, whatever test they did. I have that for her setup in the morning, and then I do my Chemex and my Ethiopian coffee.
Well, Lego My Yego is actually making a joke, claiming that you've been drinking instant coffee at the moment.
Oh yeah, and I grabbed a box of instant, and it's freaking delicious.
There you go.
A video of a iced latte. It was pretty dope.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of noise around instant and pods, obviously, but I think we're gonna hear more about it, especially with these times. And I saw a video from GB, and she did the whole, the whole dalgona coffee, but instead of using like Nescafe, she used specialty coffee grade instant coffee.
Yeah.
And well, she said it was good. I mean, I guess I'll trust her on that one. But
I have to send you some.
Sorry?
I'll have to send you some. We make ours.
Oh, coffee. Yeah, man. Anytime. I never ask, but man, I can't say no to coffee, brother.
Address.
All right. Okay. We can match some. Cool, man. I'm in. Have your kids started drinking coffee?
What's that? My kids? Oh
yeah. Do they drink it?
It's amazing. Around the age of 2, they'll drink it without sugar or cream. And as they get older, they want sugar and cream, because my wife drinks it with sugar and cream. So my 6-year-old, he won't drink it without cream or sugar. My 4-year-old, she won't drink it without cream or sugar. But my 2-year-old, he drinks it black. and he wants more and more.
Wow, it reminds me.
Oh, this
Oh,
is
here.
I want it black.
Let's see what's up.
Hello, what's up? How you doing?
Black, but yeah, mainly cream and sugar.
It reminds me of myself, man. You know, I told you I never drank coffee in Italy. It's because at the age of 2, I had too much coffee. So what I used to do, I used to sneak out of my bed, go to the kitchen. They used to leave the kitchen undone, and they used to be left over in the mocha pot. Obviously, Italian family. I would pour myself some coffee, drink it, and go to sleep with my parents. Obviously, in my parents' bed. And I had too much that I developed I started disliking it. And I was like, nah, I hate it. So, and that's why I stopped drinking coffee. And yeah, it was, yeah, interesting on how I started really drinking coffee here in Melbourne. But I'm glad that I did so. So I skipped a lot of Robusta probably back home. Nothing wrong with Robusta. It's just, you know, the style in Italy, it's a little bit tricky. And I went back on my last trip, and look, I've seen a few new specialty shops. They're starting to popping up, especially in Milan area. Well, hopefully they'll recover from what's happening over there.
Yeah.
I'm actually having actually a few people from Italy popping up as well here. So we're gonna have Rubens from Gardelli, Francesco from Ditta Artigianale. So it's good to see the Italian movement starting as well in terms of coffee more and more. So exciting times for sure. Now, before we ask people to ask you questions, music is another big passion of yours. How do you get to decide which passion to follow over the other, and could you possibly combine the two?
So yeah, music has always been a big part of my life from since I was this guy's age, 6 years old. My dad was really big into music, and my older sister was really big into music. But I was like the first musician, so to speak, just studying like classical music, clarinet, bass clarinet, and then into kind of the brass family or low brass with baritone horns through high school. It wasn't until college that I discovered like making beats and DJing, and that's when I got into like, I guess, my creation, and just DJing and having my own DJ company for a while. Music was life. That was it. That's all I did. And then in 2003, everything kind of took a turn in a different direction. The band I was in, we were doing we were touring for a while, and Sony Music was looking at us, and they liked what they heard and what they saw, but they didn't hear a radio single. So that caused me to feel like I was losing creative control of the band. And the more we were in the studio trying to chase what Sony wanted, the less we were what we wanted. And I kind of lost, I guess, my drive for the music. And I left. And that's when I got into coffee. And in the beginning, it was just grinding it out, you know, just coffee in the morning, I DJ at night. Man, I had one of the craziest schedules. It was like I would get up at 5:30 in the morning to go bike to campus and open a cafe, which was awesome. And then I'd stay there until like 1 or 2, bike home, crash, wake up, eat dinner, get my gear, go to the club, DJ till 3 in the morning, get home at 4 a.m., take a nap, get up at 5:30, bike to the cafe, open it up.
Wow.
That cycle for like 2 years.
Damn, that's mad.
I was just
like
finding it. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I DJ'd, it was Thursday through Tuesday, and then I had a couple of nights off. But yeah, that was the cycle. It was awesome. And then, so when I got to counterculture, it was a lot more demanding, and I wanted to learn more. This is a point where I was trying to learn more about the competition, becoming a better barista, and then transitioning into becoming a coffee professional. So how much of the industry can I learn that I can achieve this goal in coffee? And that meant letting go of the music on the more professional level, like hitting the clubs, the bars, and different events. I just couldn't do it anymore because that cycle when I was working in a cafe, that took a lot.
Bro, yeah.
And then
Like,
transitioning, because I mean that was like morning to afternoon, but in the cafe, but at Counterculture it was like morning to evening, and sometimes when the orders came in, we were there till like 8 or 9 at night. So I couldn't do that DJ thing if I wanted to focus more on coffee. So it was more of a transition, and it wasn't like a sad transition. It was actually kind of cool because now I had my Fridays and Saturday nights to go out with my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, and we did more traveling, and it was awesome. So coffee became the passion, and I pursued it as I pursued music, and I felt like I had more creative control of my career in coffee, which I lost in music.
gotcha, man. That's super insightful. Sometimes,
But your last part of the question, can they be mixed together? Yes, and that's what I've actually have done, because I DJ'd at the WBC after party in Amsterdam, the WBC after party in Boston.
no
I
shit.
DJ'd a party during London Coffee Festival in London.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
And
Actually,
I
there's
was
a.
getting to Melbourne too, man, because I wanted to.
Well, this year, I know. Fuck. We'll see. It's all right. Or like safety first. I mean, I doubt that they're talking about 2021 in terms of reopening the borders for tourist purpose, but we'll see. We'll see. I caught a question from Joe Cap, and I'm not sure if it's a question or suggestion, but he asks, live stream soon, Lem. I'm not sure if you want a live stream of you DJing.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to give it away, but there's something coming.
New York Thief saying, what's up, Lem? With the muscle and heart. Hey, New York Thief. If anyone has any questions, just send them through. Happy to read them through it as we talk. Joe kept saying DJ for sure. Yeah, I think and that's my whole, that's where I'm going as well in terms of I have a concept around fixation in terms of I think a passion becomes like your fixation, may he rest in peace, but you can safely say Kobe's fixation was basketball, ball game, you name it. And obviously your fixation, your passion is coffee, and a little turn, meeting the right person at the right time got you where you are now, and you found a different passion and with more purpose because you lost that little, I guess, from what I gather, you lost a little bit the honeymoon period with the music as far as the professional, and that's okay, because look where you are now, and look, happiness, man. That's all it's all about, man.
Doing what you're doing, then you have to find, something else.
That's it. That's it. And you know what? You probably much rather DJing live streams or on house party on Zoom or Skype or for 5 people, but having a cracking time, just having fun, than DJing for 500 people, but then you got all these things that you don't like. So you rather keep that passion your way and just humble mode, and then you just here it is. The WF Kaniak How important was music during your round to the World Barista Championship? That's a question. Thanks for the question, by the way.
Music was huge in my competition, because I felt like this was your 15 minutes to create, you know? Of course, yeah, you have to follow protocol and serve 12 drinks in their format, but you can be creative in that. And a lot of that is like hitting all the senses, you know, sight, smell, taste, and how you're hearing, what you're hearing. So music was huge. My playlists have always been developed while I practice. I would have like, or I'd hear a song and I'd put it on the competition playlist, and it'd be like maybe 50 songs. And I would just like do run-throughs, 15-minute run-throughs with this, you know, huge playlist playing, and whatever song felt like it fit with cappuccinos or felt like it fit with espresso, then I would pull the playlist for the actual presentation. So music was really huge for me. Yeah.
And it got you into your element state, I suppose. You were in your element with the music.
What's that?
I said, I guess you were then in your element, in the zone, with the right music. Yeah, nice. Then we got a little comment from, it's not a question, but Wecky's Tulip. Oh, I like the username. You never lose, you rather gain new talents, ideas, and professions. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much a recap of what happens. Yeah, that's a good comment for sure. Yeah, I liked your music when I rewatched the routine, and I think it was just going along with your flow, and yeah, no, I really appreciate that. It's still available on YouTube. Bless technology. Kaivan Schwartz.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a
first set black and white.
Here we go. Sorry, I missed that, mate.
Kayvon, he works at Black and White.
Ah, gotcha. What does he do?
He's one of the baristas.
Nice. Good to see people showing you love here as well, you know. And,
yeah, so
big fan for you.
Tanith popped up. Tanith, she foraged the magnolia flower simple syrup for me for my sig drink for WD. Yeah, and nationals as well.
Wow, that's I found it quite interesting. And again, it was painful to watch because it was great, it was beautiful, but I was just dying for a coffee, and all I had was my error. So I was like listening to your description and your tasting notes, and I was like, oh fuck. But yeah,
drinks, man.
Yeah, but crazy drinks. The lemongrass. Yeah, no, it was good. Long Beach Coffee Club is in, saying hi. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, I don't want to hold you too long because I don't know what time is there. I don't want to hold you too long from your family, man. Like anytime you gotta hit the road, just you know, give us the sign, give us the signal.
Well, if anyone has any questions.
Yeah, we'll see if something pops up. Otherwise, so while we wait for any questions, I guess what's next for you? I mean, let's put COVID-19 on the side. What's in your bucket on what's next on the Lem's planet? Oh, here's a question, and after we can answer that. Any interesting collaborations in the works? Well, there's probably some secret collaborations, so you might not be able to reveal that.
There's a few things coming, definitely.
Good. And Chef's Wild is saying, BNW, obviously black and white coffee is the best coffee. Chef's Wild, showing the love.
Thanks, Tanith.
So what's next in the Lem's planet?
What's next? Continue to grow the company. We've got some great coffees coming out soon. Once we get past this pandemic situation, we'll start getting back out and seeing more farmers and establishing more direct relationships. That's one of the goals, is to be as direct as possible. As we grow, we want to be able to purchase not just the top best coffees a farmer or a co-op has to offer, but everything that co-op has to offer, that farmer has to offer. We can find a place for it. So that's one of our goals now.
Cool.
And maybe open a couple more cafes. We'll see.
Good. Yeah, man, that sounds like a plan. I think it's super important to have the relationship with the farmers. I was lucky to work for a coffee roaster, and I saw the development of relationships with, obviously, farmers and origins. Super huge, 100%. Look, we got two more. Bean Queen is saying hi to you. And then we go, let's grab this as a last question, and then we'll close it for you because it's nighttime. Not sure if this question is good for right now, but I'm curious. Any thoughts on how the next competition season might go, considering how things are now? Wow, that's let's see.
That's a good one. Well, I mean, they haven't put off the qualifiers. No, the preliminary round. The preliminary round is scheduled for August, so it's still a little ways out. I think that should still happen, and if it does, then everything will be fine. I think I'm more concerned about what's going to happen with WBC, whether that's going to be happening in, were they saying November or October, November?
Yeah, it was, I think, 21st of October or November. Yeah, but yeah, down the end of the year. Yeah, that was meant to be, yeah.
So that's the one to look out for. That one in Poland, if those are going to happen or not. But yeah, if everything gets back to normal soon, the prelims will be in August here in the U.S.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure about what's going to happen. Perhaps. Yeah, it will be definitely different, even in terms of just to, I guess, fill in your answer. We might be able to see maybe some distancing between the judges and some more a different setup, I suppose. Like, instead of judges sitting next to each other, there might be, I don't know, a little bit further, because I think we won't be able to get back to normal right away. So I think that could be something. I wonder, and that would be cool. I mean, Specialty Coffee Association, if you're listening, this could be a good jam. I think they could still save the competition for the competitors and maybe live stream it to be available to the public. I know they would lose revenue in terms of tickets, I get that, but in terms of safety, if they can't make it, then they might be able to do maybe a virtual stream or WBC. I don't know. It's just throwing an idea into the wild, because at the moment it's just all over the place, and it might be different.
We don't know like how relaxed borders will be. I mean, the U.S. has some of the largest rates of death here in the U.S. I mean, we might not be let into other countries for a long time,
Yeah.
So, and I feel like a lot. I mean, we're pretty divided in the U.S. as it is on issues, and this is a big one. I feel there's a large group of people who aren't taking it as serious as they should at the moment, and some people are. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how things shape up once borders start opening back up, and who is restricted and who's not.
Of course.
And I feel like a lot of places will restrict Americans from travel.
Well, I guess watch this space. We'll see what happens next. Like my grandpa says, we'll see it. But yeah, man, Lem, such a pleasure meeting you. Yeah, Thanks for giving up a little bit of your time, evening time, and yeah. WF Kaniak saying, I only got one bottle of exquisite extraction. Will there be more, please? I'm not sure, man.
I only got one bottle of exquisite extraction. I don't know what that is. What is that?
Maybe it's the Magnolia. But yeah, man, thanks for popping in. Hope to have you in the future. Maybe we can meet real life, real time one day. And yeah, such an honor, man. If there's anything that you think you've left off the table and you want to share, please go ahead. Otherwise, yeah, we'll talk soon, man. Thanks for coming by. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks a lot. Peace, everybody.
My man.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, so there you have it.
Yeah, I'm feeling so grateful to have had the chance to meet virtually and talk to Lem. Yeah, I just gonna get a lot. I got a lot out of it on a personal level, so I hope that the people watching got something out of it too. I think it's just so important to remind ourselves to be happy. Be ourselves was the major topic of yesterday with Lemby. She's gonna come back on Tuesday, by the way, because the video was frozen. So we're gonna do another live stream with Jessica Lemby next week, Tuesday. Tomorrow we got GB Little, and Friday we got Caleb Tiger. So stay tuned and turn on your notifications. So there's gonna be more of these episodes coming. And what I want is just every time to have a message, a meaningful way to actually get a message from these amazing people. So Lem's message was pretty clear. Follow your passion, be yourself, be humble, and just keep going at it. The way that he discovered coffee and the stories he shared was just amazing. So yeah, I'm feeling very grateful to have been able to do so. Kevin, cheers to you, man. WF Koenig, sorry, Founder Sour. I'll ask him in the DMs, or you can ask him in the DMs. We missed that. Cooler69, hi, could you talk about filter coffee? What do you want to know? I mean, filter coffee is what I brew at home. I personally don't have any toys to do espresso, and with the lockdown I've been drinking only filter at the moment, just AeroPress. But filter, well, it's the OG drink if you think about it with coffee. Oh, I got you, WF Koenig. I'll follow that up for you, my man. Filter is the actual OG coffee drink because it was just hot water and coffee, and that's how they cup coffee at farms. So you get a lot out of it. It's a different experience. But I think coffee is beautiful where there's no judgment, because you know what? I don't care whether you drink a latte or a flat white or a dalgona coffee. It's about the experience that we have with the persons that we drink it with. And if you drink a geisha filter coffee, well, that's still good. Well, that's really good in my opinion. Will you be posting this after it's done? Yes, Jasmine. I'll be posting this always. The intention and the idea is to start a podcast, Coffee with Mirko, and just, it's going to get better and better and better. My format, my questions, I'm still a newbie at this. Internet connection is a bit of a problem at the moment because a lot of people that I talk to, they have poor internet connections because everybody's on Instagram lives. There's a 27 seconds remaining for this hour. Cooley69, very quickly, and we can wrap it up. Difference between V60 and Chemex, well, the major difference is the server, really. That's probably, and the filter that goes with it. That's the main difference, but it's all about the coffee you put in. Yeah, got 7 seconds remaining. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow and the next day. Peace.